Did I find you guys here or you found me here? Let's see. I see Silas here. I see Catherine. I see Buipelo. User 655. You called. I called and you answered. What a tricky way of putting it. Silas, how are you? User 414. Motshehwa. How are you, Motshehwa? So, today I want us to talk about energy vampires. A vampire is something that is known to suck you dry. You know, if you watch those kind of type of things. But today I want to make an emphasis or try to make you aware that you are an energy body. When I say an energy body, you're not only that, you are a whole lot amount of things, but I want to show you that your body produces energy. You've probably have met people that when you are in their space, you feel a bit zapped without even talking to them. At some point, it even happens if you meet somebody for the first time, all of a sudden, you don't feel in sync with them. You are a little bit distorted when you are in their presence. While on the other hand, you might meet people, even if it's for the first time, when you are in their presence, there's something that actually gets aroused in you. You feel a bit good, even without talking. That is a sign of, when you study a bit of cymatics, you will know that our world is controlled by energies, by frequencies, by sound, by words, such and such and such. There was a science that was done at the Heart and Math Institute. What they wanted to measure was, what is that thing that actually makes you a little bit somehow when you are in the presence of other people, and it makes you a bit somehow when you are in the presence of other people. And this is what they found. It was proven that your heart, emits energy. Now, the energy that it emits, it can go around about 4 to 12 feet. I did a video at one stage right here on TikTok where I was talking about that research. Even though I suspect that your heart can emit energy longer than 12 feet. That brings this thing of understanding energy that courses through our bodies, because unfortunately it's not all of us that know that we are energetical beings. It's not everybody that knows that communication does not only happen with words. There's an energy that speaks, but it doesn't use words. If you're too much into linguistic studies, you will know that almost 75% of communication is nonverbal. What's speaking? I'm just asking. That's what I want us to talk about today. The energy vampires. What are things that suck the energy out of you? Some people might have mentioned the food. Food is one of them. Some people might have mentioned the type of company that you keep, which is what we just spoke about now. But did you know that your thoughts as well can zap energies out of you? Did you know that your hormones, if not controlled, can zap the energy out of you? Did you know that your emotions, if not properly guided, can zap the energy out of you? We're obviously going to be borrowing a little bit from the Eastern philosophy. You guys might have seen or might have heard or you might have studied at some point the yin and the yang. If you've studied neuroscience, that is the study of what's happening in your brain, you'll probably know about the left and the right hemisphere of the brain. Some people might have went as far as understanding or grasping the fact that a left-hand side brain it's your masculine brain. Your right-hand side brain, it's your feminine brain. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. But I want to show you something, that these two polarities that you have in your body, because in your body, I want to lay this thing of energy first before I can start about things that can deplete your energy. I want to show you a little bit as to how do you generate energy. What actually becomes an energy combustion machine in you. And we can't do that without talking about the biology. We're going to have to break down our bodies. We're going to have to go to the cellular, molecular being. We're going to have to do a little bit of anatomy and physiology. Before I can do that, let me just say hi to the people. I did not tell anybody that I'm live. You know why? Today is my wife's birthday, as they call it. So she went out to do some few things. Apparently today I was not supposed to go live. So as she went out, I decided, you know what, I'm not going to tell nobody. I'm not going to even mention it in the WhatsApp group. I'm just going to sneak, use the back door and drop up this, because some things just needs to be shared. So Lee, don't be going around and be telling people as to what's happening. But nonetheless, the reason why I want us to talk about this, it's because the energy that is not balanced can make you sick. I often look at dismay when people, yeah, I will send it to her. I will show her to say, yeah. So let's give you a cake. Thank you very much. Thank you. I mean, for the messages that you guys send in the WhatsApp group, as you can see, I mean, I didn't really get much of a sleep because I was busy baking, preparing all these things. But with a little bit of a fatigue, the messages that you guys have been sending, I mean, with people like me, I mean, I don't have a lot of friends. So it's actually quite a pleasure that the family that we have now in a WhatsApp group, it's not only the people that are interested in reading, it's not only the people that are interested in getting to know themselves, but it's people that are interested in making difference in people's lives. I know to some people this might sound small, but for the people that have walked this journey of solitude, you will know that when you get the people that tend to understand what the heck that you've always been busy with, because when you get onto this journey, you're going to be pulled out of the society, like it or not. The energy that you're vibing with, it's going to isolate you. And the whole point of isolation is not punishment. It's for you to take stock of the beliefs that you have. Because unfortunately, when you're mingling and twingling and you're everywhere, energy work cannot be properly executed. So for the energy to work, you have to be drawn out of the whole civilization. For some time, though, I don't know. For some people, it goes for long. I was just about to say that you are not supposed to. Hey, people, don't. Here I am. I've been slaving the whole night, and I've been given a chance now. People go to do these nails. They do this and that and that. So I thought to myself, I'm just going to sneak in. Because this that I want to talk about today is very dear to my heart. But nonetheless, before I get back to it, for the people that have been sending up the messages, for Silas, I see that you gave a cake. I don't know, the day, as they say, if it's somebody's birthday, they decide. So now I'm just following behind. Probably I might not be able to be live at 2 o'clock because it's those, it's that time, it's that day. But in case I'm not here, what I'll try to do is I'll try to take up this video, paste it on YouTube. That is for the people that are not going to be able to be joining us this morning. Hey, Linkster, how are you, Linkster? And if you guys are here for the first time, you like whatever that we're talking about, you understand what we're talking about. Even if you don't, just make this day lovely by showing some love, not only on the platform, also try to apply this thing on your day-to-day living. Some of the people are there at work, maybe perhaps you are at home. When you got something in the fridge, or if you got some lunch, share it with somebody. If then you can't give to that extent, just go to the mall and send invisible loves. Invisible loves, it's It's not like you have to go around in the mall now and be saying, love you, love you. People will take you to the psychiatric. So what you have to do is you have to do it internally. Since we're talking about the energy today, did you guys know that the act of love, it's the highest vibration when it comes to the measurement of emotions? Yet there's a science behind this, because I sent a book at some point by Hawkins, not Stephen. I just normally forget this elderly gentleman's name. His name is Hawkins. The name of the book is Power versus Force. And in it, he details as to how do emotions weigh on your energy spectrum. Two of the energies that I like talking about there is fear and love. So when he measures it using the hertz, vibrations gets measured by frequency gets broken down, it's like cycles per second. But for you to do that, there was a guy that was called megahertz, or was he called Hertzian? So normally when you measure things, you measure it with that thing that denotes it. That's denoted as Hz, that is hertz. So when you measure fear measures to be around about like 100. But when you measure love measures to be 525 hertz. So for some reason, when you feel depleted, the bestest way to recharge yourself, show love. When your body is tipped out of balance, when your body is not alkaline, when you feel your body it's acidic, because anything that is not alkaline, it's acidic. Anything that is acidic, it's bound to exhaust itself. Meaning, when you are on acidic side of things, you're gonna get sick. I've never, even today, I've been trying to check it out with my researches and all the things that I've been doing. I wanted to find out has there ever been a case where somebody was killed by love? Or somebody got hypertension because of love? I've never come across such a case. And you have to be very careful when I speak about love. I mean, we were talking about it at some point as to what love is. When I speak about love, please don't make a mistake of mixing it with the Valentine's love. I'm not talking about the marriage love either. I'm not talking about the brotherly love either. But I'm talking about the love that is all-encompassing. The love that does not the love that does not know whether this should be good or this should be bad. I'm talking about the love that walks the middle passage. This is what in Buddhism it's called the middle way. You don't judge nothing. You look at things for what they are. This is what I shared in the WhatsApp group this morning. It might sound very simple, I know, but for the people that have traveled or traversed the road, they will know that this might come handy. When you do meditation, don't push anything back. Don't hold on to anything. Let the stream flow. Because your resistance towards that pain, your resistance towards those thoughts creates a friction that tips your body out of harmony, sending you straight to the acidic side of energy. And when you're on the acidic side of energy, you'll get headaches, you'll get migraines, you might even pick up a chronic disease while you're at it. Because if you were to look at the sugar diabetes, for an example, how the fuck does it start? Let me break it down for you. The whole pathology of diabetes. In your body, you have a pancreas gland or a pancreas body in your stomach. That pancreas body, it's responsible for releasing insulin. Insulin, it's a chemical, or insulin, it's a hormone that regulates sugar levels in your bloodstream. When you're eating anything sweet, insulin gets secreted by the pancreas. Now the pancreas at some point, depending as to how much do you abuse it? Because a whole lot amount of times, the pancreas does not break down on its own volition. Your body, when you get born, it gets born alkaline. When a baby gets born, the acidic or the pH level, it's normally around about 6.8. It changed though. I think now the acceptable level is 7.2. You'll know most the pH when you check if something is alkaline or if something is acidic. You will know it with food. Plant-based diet, it's alkaline. Anything that is not natural, it's acidic. So 1 to 7, it's base, that is alkaline. No, 1 to 7, 1 to 7, it's acidic. It's not alkaline. 7 to 4, it's base, that is alkaline. So this might present a little bit of a challenge because you might ask yourself, what the heck does it have to do with me? It has everything to do with you. Food has alkaline or acidic. Emotions have alkaline or acidic. Thoughts are either alkaline or either acidic. Anger, for an example, it's acidic. Boxed food, genetically modified food, it's acidic. Negative patterns of thoughts, it's acidic. Why do you think that people say that if you want to heal yourself, try being positive? When you become positive, it's not just a fluke. Did you guys do the meditation in the morning? Hey, Anzi, I think it goes on every day, eh? It goes on every day. In there we are very tireless soldiers. But I think you need to find out in a WhatsApp group, because I know some of the people are joining it on a collective platform. You can do that. But in case maybe connectivity might be a bit of an issue for you, or 5 o'clock for you, you feel it's a little bit too early to connect to the internet, you can do it right there where you are without connecting to any platform, because we strongly believe, since we are energetical beings, or we are energy beings, we strongly believe that wherever where you are, there you are, and there we are as well. We call it cosmic Wi-Fi. That which animates you, the spirit that you have in you, I have it too. It beats my heart, it beats your heart too. So this thing of saying that we are separate beings, it's not only an illusion, but it's a very dangerous theory. Because if I believe that you are separate from me, I can hate you without even having remorse. But if I know that if I hate you, I hate myself. If I love you, I love myself. I think forgiveness will be a beautiful exercise. Koshikari, Shobi, so welcome guys. So that's how it is. So if you want to be practicing up the meditation, you can join in the platform. If you want to know the links, if you want to know which platform do they use, you can get in onto the WhatsApp group. If you guys are not yet in a WhatsApp group and you want to be part of it, you can send me the, what do they call it? They call it the DM, right? Right here on the platform, you follow me, you go to my bio, you're going to have to go to my homepage, right here on the same platform. Right underneath my picture there, the profile picture, there's my number there. By the way, that's a number that I use as well. So if you feel a little bit, gratuitous, or if you love whatever that we're doing, we will appreciate if you can assist us with anything that you have. If it's a message of encouragement, if it's for you sending up the love, if it's for you double tapping on a screen, if it's for you following up the brother, if it's for you gifting over here, whatever that the Spirit tells you, do you. But back to the whole subject of the day. And thank you very much for the likes. I see you guys are keeping them ramping up. And if you got some questions as well, like Anzi's doing, or if you got some comment, please paste it here. Don't be thinking that I'm sitting on the side. Here's it, that I know everything. I know nothing. That's why I normally tell people that when you hear, don't take whatever that I say for the absolute truth. Go do the research. Go read some books. Go know yourself. Now, the reason why I wanted to jump on today, just to start off where I left it off, modern diseases, or modern illnesses as they call them, are hugely, if not all, caused by mismanagement of energies in our body. I was trying to tell you guys about the way how the insulin, how does it become that you become diabetic, right? I'm going to try to reverse it. I'm going to try to hold it from the head, go back to the tail. So if I skip some steps, you can help me to patch it up. And I want you to understand something quickly. If maybe perhaps you are on some chronic medication, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a neuroscientist, Kitsidiso. And some people call me Mr. Klojani in a WhatsApp group. Oh, I laugh so hard. Every time when you guys call me that, I laugh so hard. But nonetheless, Kilobilo Minahane for the love that you guys are showing. But by the way, Bitolaga Kitsidiso. So if I say anything, don't take it for as if like it's a SAB as approved advice. When it comes to the energy healing, or when it comes to the spirituality, you will know that this journey does not conform to the normal way of doing things. You'll find that mostly what we think it's good on the five senses, it's not necessarily good for your other senses. Talking about the diabetes, for an example. Yeah, I like that. Let's talk about diabetes. Your body has been designed biologically when you are born to take a certain level amount of sugar and any other products or any other nutrients. When your body feels that what has been ingested, it's not right for it, your body will try to mitigate that through what it called homeostatic system. This is how your body works. If you're taking in too much sugar and it's getting a little bit dilapidating for your sugar levels, or it's getting too much into your bloodstream, that's why after you eat a lot of sugar, you start developing a little bit of dizziness. You know what causes that? It's because your sugar levels in your blood have spiked high. So they've somehow disturbed the balance. So quickly, because your body is very smart, through the whole brain, through the pituitary, the hypothalamus, the endocrine system, your body signals to your pancreas to say, okay, too much sugar in the body. Pancreas says, all right, cool. I'm going to release insulin here. This insulin is a chemical. This insulin is a hormone. It's going to bind itself to all these things that are not required in your body so that the blood can go back to the balanced state. But if you have chocolate cake in the morning, you got chocolate cake for a snack, you get chocolate cake for lunch, because I know a lot of people are sucker for desserts. You do that for some time, your pancreas is going to start complaining, but it's not going to tell you yet. At some point, unfortunately, it's going to start breaking down because it's been bashed over time. So what your body does, if you don't listen, because your body is always talking. I mean, somebody asked me a question this morning and I wanted to answer it in the WhatsApp group, but I didn't want to put it in there because somehow our brains are very creative. We somehow think that you have to do copy and paste. You don't do that. When you get an advice from somebody, when you read a book, when you're tuning in into YouTube, if you're busy with healing, if you're busy with spirituality, please take note. Whoever that shares their experience, they do so via telling you what they've learned. It does not imply that you have to do exactly what they do. No. I mean, like now, there are some people that have went vegetarian. There ain't nothing wrong with that. I mean, knock yourself out, bro. I mean, like with me, if you want to ask me what is it that I eat, it's going to be a very difficult question because your body talks to you. I don't know with you, maybe perhaps those things they are called cravings. You know cravings? You might wake up someday saying, fuck, I feel like Coke. Well, do Coke, bruh. Not like Coke, but like Coke. Some days you might wake up, you might feel like, I feel like having a banana. Do it. But one thing that I can tell you is this. Becoming a vegan, being a meat eater, becoming a vegetarian, it helps you in advancing on your journey, yeah. But it's not the end of it all. It's means to an end. So you can't be sitting there forcing yourself to become a vegan or a vegetarian while you know very well that you and meat are in the same WhatsApp group. You know what is that going to cost? Just to give you a bit of how the energy works. If you do something that you don't want to do, or if you're using force, your body psychologically is going to react. It's going to give you a whole lot amount of emotions. But I know for sure that for people that like doing things or people that do things that they don't like, they tend to produce guilt. You know what's guilt when it comes to the scale of measurement? Guilt goes for 30 hertz. It's actually even way, way, way lower than fear. So whenever when you're producing guilt, your ass ain't going nowhere. So somehow you're going to have to become a very... The brother leader, there was a reason. Your body knew that you needed. Yeah. So if maybe, I mean like now, I normally tell people that it's been a while now. I normally engage into a time-to-time fast. It's not a corporate fast. It's not a religious fast. It's not a spiritual fast. Basically, I'm exercising what some people do. They call it enema, cleaning up your gut. When you study pathology of disease, there's something that's very interesting that you're going to pick up there. Pathology of diseases, how the heck do diseases come about? That's a pathology of disease. You'll realize that pretty much all the modern diseases that we suffer from are caused by inflammation. What's inflammation? Inflammation, swelling. Not really swelling, but inflammation has something to do with swelling. How does swelling play about in your body? Your body, it's like a tube. It's made of tubes. That's a lympathetic system for you. It's a tube. It's a system of tubes. This goes up, this goes up, this goes up. I mean, like right now, just to give you a statistic or a number that will shock your ass. This thing that is called your brain, each and every 60 seconds uses 900 milliliters of blood. So how long have you been here now? We've been here for a couple of minutes. So you can take minutes that we've been here multiplied by 900 milliliters and you'll see how much your brain uses in terms of blood flow. So when you get clogged or once you develop inflammation, your tubes get clogged. Once your tubes get clogged, extra mucus gets released. Once extra mucus gets released to unblock the passages, to unblock the tubes, to do away with the traffic that you've generated with wrong food. But it's not only wrong food, it's wrong thoughts, wrong emotions, wrong perceptions, wrong beliefs, wrong value systems. You always thinking that you are the it, you don't have to be compassionate, you don't have to be joyous, you don't have to be respectful. You're not aware that you're pushing yourself to the acidic side of things when you're entertaining things that are wrong. So what happens is your body releases the mucus. Once the mucus cannot be able to get rid of the traffic jam, the inflammation, which by the way starts in your gut. Once your mucus cannot be able to get rid of that, your body starts attacking itself. Speaking of him, I was about to give a quote that comes from him. You know what he says? He says, all diseases start in the gut. There's a German proverb that says, Life and death resides in your stomach. You know why? Because I want to go to the acidity part of things. 80% of your immune system, you can write this down if it's the first time you hear about it. Welcome. I was as shocked as your ass. 80% of the immune system comes, or it's in your stomach. Autophagy and catabolic metabolic process. Ooh. Hey, Poseidon. Okay, if you guys are new here, follow the brother. I like what you're doing, Poseidon, and what the people have been doing as well in terms of comments. Keep them going, keep them rolling. If you're new here, follow the brother. If you understand what we're talking about, follow the brother. If you don't understand, follow the brother. If you like what we're talking about, you can like the page. It helps us a lot with the algorithm. If you want to be part of our community that we came about, I think we just surpassed around about like 160 participants. It's a WhatsApp group / book club / family that we have. You can join in. I mean, how do you do that? My numbers are right here on the same platform. Just underneath my picture there. You're going to have to follow the brother, obviously. You follow the brother, you go to that picture. Just underneath, there's a number. That's my functional number, by the way. From time to time as well, depending on how people feel, it tends to receive some e-wallets, particularly today. I need to take this woman out because it's her birthday. So for the people, if you got the hearts and hearts, assist us with that. But nonetheless, beyond that, it helps us with the datas. It helps us with, to go live, to keep the lights going. Pretty much, that's a long and short of it. So, welcome. Back to the acidity, because I want to finish up this thing. Once then the pancreas breaks down, the insulin cannot be able to come about. Then you start having diabetes. I know, I didn't finish up my fasting story. I want to go back to this, because I saw that Poseidon, you spoke about the autophagy. But we'll talk about it because I want to pull ourselves back to this thing of energy leaks. Because one thing with me is, I'll go on and on and on and on. Oh, by the way, the moderator is in the house. Lerato, that's, I don't know. It's her birthday today. It's my beautiful wife, the moderator. So show some love. A lot of people have been showing some love in the WhatsApp group. So she's just actually graced us with her presence in here. I did say in the morning that since it's her day today, I don't have words, when it comes to this woman right here. But all that I can tell you is she refused to see somebody's dreams dying. She refused. So, yeah, that's it. We'll get back to the whole subject of the day. It's not only the food that is wrong for your system. The process of fasting, the process of cleaning up your colon, the process of doing enema in your body, the process of eating clean, it helps, but it's not the end of it all. It's an aesthetic that you can use. That is to, because remember, if you can master your addictions, you somehow start gaining control of your existence. Not like full control though. If you can deny yourself food for some time, you're starting to teach your body who's boss. Because the reason why a lot of people cannot engage in fasting, for an example, it's because their body has now become the master instead of becoming the servant. Because the body is here to do something. I don't think none of us wake up in the morning, or I don't think any of us are alive here for no reason. I think you came here for something. Unless if you've just said to yourself, hey, baby girl, you gifting me. What am I supposed to do to you? Thank you very much, Lerato. I see that you said marvelous confetti, or did I just make you blush where you are? Enough of that, man. back to the subject of the day. Uh, where was I? Invite. Okay. Yeah, no, what's like lean, eh? Now, one trailer. Now I'm just, you are denying your body food teaching. Yeah. When you get into the practice of fasting, for one, you are teaching your body who's boss. In some way, you are breaking down their autonomous nervous system. They call it subconscious system. Some people call it parasympathetic system. Some people call it metaphysical system. Some people call it Holy Spirit. You start now dabbling with the energies because you understand that somehow you've been given this instrument to do something. This. Or in case maybe perhaps you're placing too much value on your body, if you follow me here on the system or on this platform, you will know that this for us is nothing but the container that we've been borrowed. But now, once you start understanding that, you will know that this existence here, or this body, or this vehicle that you've been borrowed, in as much as it needs to be taken care of, it also needs to be watched. Yesterday we spoke about dopamine, which it's a key factor when it comes to addictions. So when you're fasting, on food in particular, you're not only resetting your system, you're not only trying to gain a bit of control as to this body that you're using, but you are also cleaning up your energies, because energies that are habitually formed tends to give you problems. If you don't understand what is it that I'm talking about shadow work. You will know that a lot of us are on what we call autopilot modes. And the bestest way that you can disturb that pattern is to stop whatever that is that you're doing, food-wise. Fast will teach you a whole lot amount of things, a whole lot. Madam Pebbles, fasting for an example, Poseidon was talking about the autophagy. You know what's an autophagy? An autophagy, it's when your body starts feeding on itself in a healthy way. There's an instance, obviously, where your body starts feeding on itself that is called autoimmune disease. Autoimmune is when your body starts feeding on itself in a wrong way. Autophagy is a system whereby your body starts feeding on itself in a right way. Autophagy, it's then when it's a stage that you get on to. When you get onto fasting, your body will eliminate a whole lot amount of things during the fasting period. So at some point, your body's going to sit down and think, nothing to eat. Nothing is coming. Your insulin is sitting there waiting for the food to come in. The saliva as well, it's sitting there waiting for the food to come in. But now no food is coming. You know what your body's going to do? Your body's going to start going into the fat reserves. You have fat reserves. All of us do. Unfortunately, for a lot of people have a lot of fat reserves. But process of fasting can help you to assist your body from doing away with this fat reservoirs. Side benefit, weight loss. Side benefit, improved mood. Side benefit, reset. It resets your insulin. That's why after a magical thing about fast, it just happens like that. If you go without food for a day, the next time when you taste food, how are your taste buds? They're sharp, because now all of a sudden the body went into a hibernation mode. The body went into a clean-up kind of type of way. So now your body is ready to receive. But if you always making the insulin work every day, you eat. Whenever where you are, you always eating. Your body never gets a time to sleep. Your body, it's always, until your pancreas says, okay, fine, you don't want to work with me, I give you pancreatic cancer. You deal with it. Because our bodies are always talking, we just that we don't listen. There's a quote that goes on like this: your body is always trying to talk. And if you're not listening, your body will make time for you to listen to it by breaking down. Boop. Thank you, Balabani Lawrence. How do you fix the autoimmune problem? You know, Lawrence, one of the most horrible parts on how the autoimmune system plays itself out, I know it plays itself out in different ways, but the most horrible one is lupus. Jeez. At some point, you're going to have to find out what is it that your body does not want. You're going to have to eliminate items on your dish, item per item. If you're having too much sugar on your plate, take it out. For some time, say maybe 48 hours to be a little bit safe. Try to then find out if you reintroduce it back to your body, how does your condition change? Then go to the salt, then go to the oil, then go to the too much genetically modified food. Cut like that so that you understand, because sometimes autoimmune diseases, because your body now cannot be able to take some few things out, so it can't work anymore. So you're going to have to administer that. But if you're already on some medication of some sort, don't try to get rid of them. Use what we're talking about now as an addition. Because I'm not a doctor. Don't be taking anything that I say for the truth. I need to put out a disclaimer. And Born Catholic decided to observe 40 days of Lent. Oh, this. Hey, hotata, ne? Especially being. Hey, Kala. Hey, for the people that engage in the fasting thingy, bon voyage, all the best. I mean, that's all that I can say to you, because if you haven't realized, all of us are food addicts. That's the best way on how to explain it. And addiction is not good. That's why yesterday I was talking about the dopamine. I don't think a lot of people got what is it that I was talking about. When you reset the dopamine, it's like holding on to the dragon, because an addiction, it's driven by the dopamine. In case you didn't know that. A dopamine is that anticipatory drug. So what you need to do is you need to understand what dopamine is so that you can harness it. Instead of your dopamine only secreting when you browsing your phone, playing the games, having food, start developing some new habits. Read a book. Be quiet. Stop fighting. Start loving. Stop being stingy. Stop gossiping. Stop negativity. Stop too much eating. I mean, like, for the people that are Christians, they will understand what is it that I'm talking about. I think it was Saint Aquinas who came up with the 7 cardinal sins. Christians will know this very well. Part of the cardinal sins is gluttony. Too much eating is a sin. But not a sin in the sense of you going to hell. No, not that. Another, But what I want to say is, wrong food depletes your energy. Wrong thoughts deplete your energy. Wrong emotions deplete your energy. So when I speak about energy vampires, like the title suggests, because I know a lot of people will be like, yeah, we're going to talk about dark stuff, bro. No, we're not talking about dark stuff. We're talking about the way on how you're leaking the energy out of yourself. The biggest way on how we leak energies out of ourselves is holding on to a grudge. That I know for sure. And I know you know it. When it comes to this thing of holding up a grudge, because holding up a grudge sooner enough lends or metamorphosizes to become unforgiveness. I like the quote of unforgiveness that was once said by Mandela. He said, Holding on to a grudge, it's like drinking a poison, hoping that somebody else dies. Unforgiveness is like drinking a poison, hoping that somebody else dies. I mean, I don't need to explain that. Let me show you what unforgiveness can do to you. Cancer, amongst other things, is caused by unforgiveness. Cancer, amongst other things, is caused by holding on to grudges. Cancer, for some reason, it's caused by inability to let go. Cancer, amongst other reasons, is caused by our inability to accept. Hey, it's not going to be easy. All these things that I mentioned ain't going to be easy. But you have to understand that friction that you're creating in you, it's costing you your life. It might not cost you fully now, but you must know that you are getting sick in installments. That's the bestest way that I can put it. You're on high purchase, to buy your grave. Holding on to grudges, it's self-destruction. This is how it happens as to how cancer comes about. When we go to your microbiology, just a little bit of microbiology, talking about the cells. Your body is made up of cells. Some people say 34 trillion. I know 75 trillion. I know 150 trillion, especially for the highly melanated beings. Melanin, baby. So, your cells, for some reason, have decided to vibrate, to be stacked up, to become Tsidiso. So Tsidiso, on a fundamental level, is nothing but a community of cells. Just like you. You have a cell that is responsible for your ears, you got a cell that is responsible for your nose, you got cells that are responsible for your toes. So each and every single thing has a cellular organelle in it. You wouldn't be in existence if you were not made of cells, unless you are some clone of some sort. So, how your cells work, they replicate, they reproduce, they divide, they do a whole lot amount of things. If you guys didn't know, a cell behaves or lives just like you and I. The cell has the nucleus, which has the gonads, that is the reproductive centers. Some people call it the genes. Your cells have the membrane, which this is what we're calling an epidermis. The cell has a skin as well. Your cell has an energy center in the form of mitochondria, which produces ATP or ADP. With your body, your energy center is your brown fat cells in your stomach. This is your ESCOM. So your cell as well has its own ESCOM, the mitochondria. Now, inbuilt in a cell, it is programmed, or it's coded to divide. It is coded to finish up whatever that is has to finish. Then, if it's done with the job, most of the cells will become debris. That is, the cells that are no longer useful. Some people call cells die, but I know cells don't really. That process is a very intricate process. They call it mitosis and meiosis. If you guys have ran away during the physical science class, so what your cells do, from time to time, they replicate, they divide, they go on, they do whatever that they need to do. Now, when your cells divide, they have to divide with a proper coding system. They call it genes. If you've studied genealogy, there's a guy they call him the father of genealogy. They call George Mendel. He's a chap Back in the 18th century, they say he came up with the genealogy. I mean, Africans, we always knew that this thing exists. That's why we never wrote on paper, because we understood that if we're telling oral stories, stories get written on our genes. It's not really necessary to write them out there. So all the knowledge that you want, it's on the inside. Jesus actually even came back and said the kingdom of God is within. Right, Charles Mendel, they call him the father of genealogy. So this is what happens. Oh, what a joke that is. When your cells divide, you know most genes, you have A, G, C, T. So when your cell divides, it has to be coded. Unfortunately, sometimes when cells divide, they get divided with the wrong coding. Those are called mutant cells. Those are also called free radicals. Those are cells that hold the potential of making you sick. But did you know what directs the cells? Or what sends an instruction to the cells? Your brain, your thoughts, your vibrations, your frequencies, your state of being. Just the way how you are outside on the inside, you constantly giving an instruction to your cells. Whether you know it or you don't know it, that's besides the point. Why do you think that there's something that is called placebo? Placebo, it's your ability for you to heal yourself with your own thoughts. Nocebo, it's your ability for you to get yourself sick with your own goddamn thoughts. Negativity begets acidity. Positivity begets alkaline. So you're going to have to work with the energies. If you don't know how to do it, go do some study. If you want to know the books about it, we have some of the few. We normally share in a WhatsApp group, the book club. If you want to know how to get hold of me, my numbers are right here on the TikTok. Right there on the bio. You can send me a WhatsApp if you want me to put on your WhatsApp group, if you want me to give you some few books. And if you're reading some few things as well, send it to us. We also want to know. In finishing up, what I wanted to say is this. Hopefully you avoid things that will make you sick. Oh, let me finish up with cancer quickly. So when the cells divide in a mutant way, what happens is they start recruiting other cells. Because you know a free radical is something that makes you sick. So when a free radical when a cell goes haywire, that is one of those unruly cells. They start now not listening to you. They start recruiting other cells. Now the most important thing, a cell cannot live without energy. So what it does, it starts sucking out the energy that is coming from your blood, the energy that is coming from your bone marrows. So depending as to how quickly do your cells replicate that way, which is in a mutant way, they now start recruiting other cells. At some point, they're going to start malignating. Once they malignate, they now start forming a bit of a community of those unruly cells. But your body still has the ability to heal it. You know what it does? It creates a tumor. I know I'm going to finish up here, and I'm not going to get the time to explain this. A tumor in your body, it's your body's technology trying to help you out. You know how the tumor works? It tries to suck out all those free radicals to keep them in a pouch. But too much of free radicals blows off the pouch. Kitumetsi, I see you. It's probably telling me that my life is about to end anytime soon, just before I speak about the tumors. Because I know that a lot of us have been taught that tumors are a wrong thing, but you don't understand that a tumor, it's a way on how your body tries to help you. And finally, just when I get off, unless if you guys wait for me to connect on a different whatever, because my time is out. Just hold on for me. I'm coming now. Hotata Banaskis. Alright, cool. Looks like it's good. Yeah. We're back and we're black. Lee like the life. How do one get notification for the next live instead of just bumping into? Hey, I'll be troubling. What do I call it? Hey, Mlome English. Yeah, Nkitsa. So normally what I do is Poseidon. I'm normally on every weekday. I'm on at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Sometimes I'm on in the morning or in the evening, but those ones are a little bit sporadic. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, like today, unfortunately, I'm not gonna be able to hop on at 2 o'clock because it's my wife's birthday today. So the reason why I'm actually getting up this chance, she went on to do the morning things, you know. So while she's doing that, let me do my job so that at 2 o'clock I'm not gonna be able to, in case I get engaged doing some few things. But you can be rest assured that every weekday 2 o'clock, unless there's any change, the brother is always on. And yeah, that's more or less about it. So I was finishing up this thing of cancer quickly, but maybe perhaps you can but this is what I want to say before I can go on. Thank you. We'll definitely tell her. This is what I want to say. This information, the books that you read, the YouTubes that you are busy with, the yoga classes, the meditation classes that you started, the conversations that you're normally having with your friends or right here on a platform, are not the end of it all. They are means to an end. It's like if you want to build a house, you can get the blueprint, but if you never start building. So at some point, what it is that we're talking about, or whatever that you're busy reading, at some point you're going to have to put it into practice. With that said, let me add up with this. The bestest book that you can ever read, the bestest YouTube that you can ever tune into, the bestest retreat that you can ever attend, it's in you. It's not here. It's not in a book. It's not with your husband. It's not with your mom. Know thyself. And don't make a mistake of thinking that somebody's telling the truth. That's a big mistake, especially on this journey. Because the truth can only be the truth until you decide what the truth is. That's what Dr. Delbert Blair used to say. He used to say, don't be going around here thinking that when somebody says to you, I know how melatonin works, I know how serotonin works, and you be like, oh, they're saying it so well. You have to be very careful that a lot of people use right words to say wrong things. For all that I know, I could be one of them. So that's why I say all the time, please cross-vet whatever that we're talking about here. Don't take it for the absolute truth. For all that I know, I could be just running my mouth, waxing my lyrical here, and saying zilch. So the bestest book that you have to study is your goddamn self. Coming back to the cancer. Cancer comes as a result of the cells that are unruly, called free radicals, cells that have mutated, cells that came up with the wrong coding. So they start bundling at the corner there, looking around as to who to recruit. Because remember, when an illness starts in you, it doesn't start boom. It's a build-up. Why do you think I normally tell all of you guys that all of us are patients in waiting? For some people, they get so blessed that it never expresses itself in their bodies because they have a beautiful immune system. They have an alkaline internal environment. Very important. If your environment is acidic, you are in deep gak, literally. Because one of the side effects of acidic environment is constipation. Constipation is your inability to let go of the waste. It's gak. So when I say that, I mean, like, you know, You miss that laugh. Yeah, I'm trying to work, you know. But thank you very much for the love, guys. I mean, I really, really appreciate it. And if you're listening to what we're talking about, show some love to the brother, you know. Follow, like, gifting. If you feel you got the hearts, my numbers are right there on the bio. You know, if you want to extend your hand beyond the social platform. So you can do that as well. It helps us a lot. I mean, like, we got the retreat that is coming on the 25th and 26th. It's a blast. It's a beautiful thing. All set, all booked, all done. We'll just show you guys pictures. Even though we still got a buffer that we're busy playing around with. So for the people that still want to go, don't dismay. You can still get hold of me on the number that I'm talking about. Because I know some people are going to kill me. They're going to be like, Chronicles of a Church Girl. You know, I don't know. Do you know the lady by the name of, she's British, black lady. Her name is Laura Mvula. She's got the song there. It's called The Church Girl. So when I see the name, I'm just actually reminded by that. Oh, she's a beautiful woman, that. The way how she sings, the way how the energies that she exudes. Beautiful. So go check her out if you got the knack for music. Back to the topic. So what the cells do when they become malignant, or when they become with the wrong coding, or when they go through that meiosis or mitosis process, when they divide, you must understand, when the cell divides, it takes a little bit of the genes with it. That is the gonads, the nucleus. You'll find it in the middle of the gene. If you guys maybe perhaps, ran away during the physical science class, sorry, we're going to have to go back there. So when the cells divide, they become malignant, they mutate in a wrong way, they start recruiting other cells. Those cells now, they are now behaving in a malignant manner. So your immune system sends a message to say, okay, those guys need to be stopped there. Those are the wrong cells. But now these wrong cells, they are so smart. Even though they are not coded in the proper way, they can disguise so that the immune system does not pick them up. So when they hide, when they're running around, your body also says, okay, fine, we're done with that. Second phase, tumors. You know what's a tumor? You've probably heard of a tumor. Some people might tell you got a head tumor, it's the size of a golf ball. Some people will tell you got the lung tumor, this and that and that. A tumor, it's a pouch that is naturally created by your body. I know that all of you guys are going to kill me for that, but remember, it's not everything that we get on the school books, it's not everything that we get from the normal books that we're reading that is an ultimate truth. Truth is scattered apart. So for now, if you don't want to take that, write it somewhere at the back of your head to know that a tumor, it's a way on how your body protects itself. Invited to this life until he gave it. You know, part of a team. So what happens is, when then your tumor pouch gets full, your cancer is now starting to spread through your body. You know, they'll tell you the cancer goes this way. Some of them it's cervical cancer. There's a whole lot amount of names of cancer. But let me write it back quickly so that I can show you why unforgiveness causes cancer. Unforgiveness or a grudge tends to go along with fear and anger. I haven't seen somebody when they speak about unforgiveness, they do it with a smile. Huh? whenever anybody's holding a grudge against somebody, you can just see by their face, or like, hey, Zeakala man. So now a grudge or anger, what it does, it hijacks your hormonal system. Your endocrine system, which is your hormonal system or your hormone system or your chemical system, gets to be hijacked by anger. You know how? There are two chemicals in particular that tend to get all of us sick. Hence, they've been dubbed stress hormones. In your body, you have a whole lot amount of chemicals, but you got two that if are left unwatched can mess up your whole body. Cortisol and adrenaline. If those two chemicals are always in your body is gonna go sick. How does it happen? Adrenaline, it's a chemical that you need to flee from the situation. Have you ever been in an instance whereby the dog for some reason was chasing you and you ran for your life? But once you stop, when you get to the house, you're like, yo, I never ran like that before. You got adrenaline to thank for that. But unfortunately, adrenaline is not only triggered by things that are coming from the outside. Whenever when you are having a fearful thought, whenever when you are having a negative thought, guess which chemical are you releasing in your body? You guessed it. That is why they will tell you, if you want to heal, stop stressing. But people don't break it down as to how the heck do these things become to be stress hormones. They become to be stress hormones because thoughts also trigger the overly secretion of cortisol and adrenaline. And if you're having excess cortisol and adrenaline in your body, your chemical composition tips you off the homeostatic state, that is a balanced state. Once you are out of the balanced state, you are no longer alkaline, you are no longer base, you are no longer natural, you are acidic. When you are acidic, your body is going to thank you by giving you an ailment or a disease. So it's a very tricky thing, especially if you're only skipping it from such resources, because then I'm doing it too much of an injustice. You need to sit down and read these things. One of the best guys that you need to go to, particularly when you're talking about the acidity and the alkaline, obviously Dr. Sebi, we all know. But the second guy that explains it in a very beautiful way, I want you to check out the book by Bruce Lipton. The name of the book is The Biology of Belief. This guy in there breaks down as to how the cell behaves. He breaks down as to how your thoughts affect your cells. He breaks down how your perception that you're holding can either kill or make your cells alive. Perception in your head. Mind you, if we were to fast backward this whole thing and say, what will happen if the grudge? You know what would your body do? Once you start forgiving people, once you start letting go, your body starts releasing beautiful hormones. Dopamine at some point, even though you have to watch out. If you want to know more about the dopamine, I did a video. I put it on YouTube, part one of it. It's on YouTube. If you want to check it out, you can go there. Leave a comment. They are as unedited as they are. Very raw. So at some point, the sound is stopping. At some point, the data is doing whatever that it does. But don't dismay. Don't check out how I say it. Listen to what I'm saying. For now, aesthetics don't matter. The visuals for now, we will see them later. We're trying to fix things that cannot be seen here. Where do the adrenaline? Whew, special key. Running away from toxic spaces, like claustrophobic kind of type of jazz or wrong people. Because these environments can be very different. I want to finish up quickly. You guys are holding me out. Once you forgive, your body starts releasing oxytocin amongst other chemicals. Oxytocin is a love hormone. Your body starts releasing serotonin. Serotonin is a feel-good hormone. It's also a significant hormone. Your body starts releasing melatonin. What's melatonin? Melatonin is a dowsing drug. You know, when you see the sages, every time when you're looking at their eyes, especially when you go to the Eastern philosophy, every time when you're looking at them, they always look so stoned. Not like you and I, you know. For you and I, maybe perhaps we might be stoned of something. But whenever when you're checking out the sages, they always at that, you know, bliss. It's because internally your body can be able to generate that. I think this is what Jesus was talking about when he was talking about the spiritual wine. He did not really mean being intoxicated by something that is coming from the outside. No. An eternal peace, that is the blessed body, that is internal you, that is inside of you. It's like when you feel good. When you feel good, the day tends to be very good. But when you don't feel good, the day tends to be very dark. It's because your chemicals are busy working with you. So what you do is, the more you forgive, the more your body starts releasing beautiful chemicals. The more you start releasing beautiful chemicals, those chemicals starts repairing your cells. Those chemicals starts repairing your fluids in your body. Those chemicals starts cleaning up your cerebral spinal fluid while you at it. Those chemicals, for some reason, they start working on your lower chakra, which is that base one. This is the area where we all know, I mean, everybody wants to know about this Kundalini thing, the initiation thing, how to toggle up your third eye, first eye, whatever that you want to call it. But you can't do that if you're still holding on to things that are draining your energies. Hopefully, I tried to cover whatever that I had to cover. If you guys didn't understand, it's okay. Write them somewhere down. If you understood, go teach others. And for the people that have joined, I see you, Tsogofatso, you followed the brother. I'm not going to be able to be here at 2 o'clock today. It's my wife's birthday. For the people that have sent the beautiful gifts, the beautiful likes, the whatevers, my phone today, it's open for the e-wallet so that we can get whatever that we need to get. But nonetheless, for the people that have gifted in the past, the people that are still keeping on gifting to the channel, it helps a lot in terms of the data, in terms of financing, the whole research kind of type of thing. It helps us to keep the lights on. For the people that have shown a keen interest of going to a retreat that we're having on the 25th and the 26th, we've done with the bookings, we've done with the logistics. We left a bit of a buffer of 2 people. We were having a bit of a discussion with my wife to say, this is going to bite us in our asses, because, I mean, what if nothing pans out of that? But whatever that needs to happen, we strongly believe that it has to happen, or it will happen. You learn to understand that if you learn to understand that concept if you've been working with energies for some time, because an energy cannot be created nor destroyed. That's a law of thermodynamics. So if you want to push the energy back by force, you're going to lose all the time. It's like trying to fight God. If you're trying to push back your thoughts, you're going to lose all the time, because that's a form of energy. So whatever that needs to happen, let it happen. If you understood what the heck that we spoke about, go tell others, because the candle never loses the light by lighting the other. If you've been aware, that is, unless you've been living under some rock of some sort, a whole lot amount of people are going through some energy shift. That has to do with if you're into procession of the equinoxes and the solstices, if you're into astrology, astronomy, cosmogony, mythology, spiritual texts, you will know that at some point, each and every single time, we have ages. This thing that you are on, it's not standing still. It's moving perpetually at a very good rate. For the people that know a little bit of geography like me, you will know that constantly as it is being kept together by movement. Well, if you don't know that, go do some work. One day I want us to talk about quantum physics so that we can break this thing down. What I'm trying to say is, there are ages that we get allotted in our existence. And don't quote me on this one here, because this is a myth, it's a story. So, right now we're going through an age, I think what do they call it? The age of Aquarius. This is an age, amongst a whole lot amount of things that it does, this is an age of information, it's an age of knowing. For some reason, a whole lot amount of people are running helter-skelter looking for this, looking for that, looking for that. If it hasn't caught you, You lucky bastard. But if maybe perhaps you deep into this, we hope that you'll find some solace, you'll find some guides. We hope that you'll find some directions. Obviously, some of the things are going to scam the ass out of you. Some people are going to sell you things that are not legit. Some people are going to give you advices that are supposedly the truth. But the best thing is try listening to your goddamn self. I'm out.